Hey, my babies, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Riah J, and I'm back with another video. In today's video, first of all, let me continue that intro. I hope all is well with you all is well with me, and I hope we all are continuing to stay about happiness, peace, and love. And I hope we all are continuing to stay determined, motivated, and focused. So in today's video, oh yeah, and I hope we all are continuing to walk in the alignment of stars that Allah has for us. Y'all bear with me, okay? I'm all over the place, clearly. So in today's video, my babies, I'm going to be giving you all my the newest drama in my dysfunctional fucking family part 2. And yeah, let's get into it. So y'all know that I just put up part 1 on Monday. Today's Wednesday. Y'all actually gonna see this today. But I had to make a part 2 because I feel like part 1 wasn't enough. You know, there's still things going on behind the scenes, and I'm going to continue to, you know, say how I feel and say what's facts, okay, and what's the truth, and just continue to be me. So yesterday, as I'm living my life, doing what I do, my aunt called my phone, and she I'm gonna insert the message right here, and I'm gonna cross out, her number and names and stuff like that. But obviously, you all can see the message at this time. She's just saying something like, the boy needs his coverage. I hope you went and got that thing straight. And we have a meeting with, there's an investigation with the welfare office or whatever. And at this point, she's blocked. I didn't block her on when was that, on Monday or whatever. I didn't block, or what was that, over the weekend. I didn't block her. I just sent, y'all see in the content video, I said those messages back to her after she hung up on me. I text her with those 2 messages, and I would hope that we can just leave that where it was at. You know what I mean? For someone who has raised me when my mother died, and to think like, you know to really think like a person knows you, and they want the best for you, and despite of whatever hardships we have gone through in the past, and whatever arguments we have gone through, disagreements we have had, we were always able to get back to a place of love, you understand, to a place of understanding, to a place of family, being there for one another. But at this point, like, I have to continue to delete all negativity from my life. And if that means family, blood, whoever, you will be deleted from my life. And don't come crawling back, calling me, trying to reach out for me. Just don't, because I don't have time for that. We all have times and moments in our lives to right our wrongs and be a better person. And instead of you doing that, and acting, just being a great person, and just stop spreading drama and hate. You choose to continue to do the complete opposite. And I just can't affiliate myself with that. So, go ahead and go to your meeting for the investigation because you think my brother's on my case. Like, all of this is absurd. And at this point, I'm looking at you like, maybe you suffer, because all of my family suffer with mental illnesses. Some of them know and they're in denial, and some of them don't know. But I can see that we all are suffering from some kind of mental illnesses. I'm glad that I have got to the bottom of my truth, and I realize, like, yes, I do have anxiety. I know myself, you know what I mean? So I am able to live in my truth. And I, I don't know, y'all. I don't know if my aunt, maybe she has dementia, maybe she has amnesia. I don't know whatever she's going through, but I'm going to pray for her. I'm going to continue to pray for her and others who are out here starting drama and spreading negativity and BS. Because I just believe that I believe that the devil is a lie, and I believe that, the Almighty has me wrapped in His grace and mercy, and He's watching over me and my family, me and my kid. When I say family, y'all, I mean me and my kid, because that's who my family is. I am all that I have. Wookie is all that I have, and the Lord is all that I have. And I hold on to all of us so tightly, and I'm so protective of us all, of our peace, of our energy, of our well-being. I could have got on these vlogs, and I could have outed my aunt for a lot of things she has done in my life when she has wronged me. When you wasn't right, you did all the wrong things. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not that kind of person. I told y'all before, I don't need to get on my vlogs and down talk somebody, call them out their names, and stir up all this drama. I don't need to do that, because for all the things that she has done in the past, I have already forgiven her. And that's how we were always able to get back to a place of love and a place of understanding, because we are family at the end of the day. When my mother died, my mother told you and my uncle, which is her siblings, to watch after her children. And instead of, the family doing that, people do the complete opposite. Thank God me and my family didn't get put into the foster system. But sometimes I do wonder, like, wow, what my life would have been like if I wasn't raised by my blood. If I was raised by complete strangers in the foster care system. But unfortunately, but fortunately, I am grateful for the life that I have been able to live, and I am grateful for everything that I have gone through in my past, because it has ultimately made me who I am today. It's just so sad that there is so much dysfunction going on in families, and people are walking around here, living their day-to-day lives like this is okay. In my opinion, and to my knowledge, dysfunction in a family is not okay. I believe that we all have problems and we all need to work through our problems, but to accuse me, out of all people, of some fraudulent shit. Have I ever been a fraud in my life? Never. And I won't ever be, because being a fraud is not in my blood. It's not in my blood. It's not in my veins. It's not in my breath. Okay? It's not in my heart. I can never be a fraud. So for you to accuse me of some shit like having my brother on my welfare case, when you see that I'm setting myself up for success and I'm gonna be successful, and that I pray for the day that I can get the fuck off welfare, because Lord knows that it is a very stuck and stagnant place to be. For the government to know that you need their help, so for them to keep putting you in situations, right, and setting you up for failure. Who wants to be in a place like that? Who? Not me. Not me. I pray for the day that I can get off this shit and provide my family a better quality of life, okay? And have great credit, okay? And just live a better life, man, and not be dependent on the government for no food, for no cash. You understand what I'm saying? So for you to accuse me of some fraudulent shit in regards to welfare, like what? And then it's so sad, but I remember when I was younger, she used to tell me like, oh, I don't get nothing for y'all from the welfare. Your sister is getting is getting you and your brother's benefits. And she always would argue with my sister about welfare. And I used, I'm young. So when I was younger, I was naive. And I really, like I said, I loved my aunt. This is the person who mostly raised me when it came down between her and my uncle when my mother died. I would give her the credit. But now that I see that she is just a not only money hungry, but a welfare greedy person, you know. She did the same thing to my sister in the past. I could remember, I can just hear the arguments and the bickering in my head right now. I don't get nothing for y'all. I take care of y'all out of my own pocket. Your sister's getting you and your brother's welfare. And I find it so strange because, when I had a kid, and, I realized, like, wow, there's so much that goes into being a mom. And if you are not financially stable and you don't have a roof over your head for you and your child, and you don't have, that type of stability, then you have to lean on the government to get assistance. So why, when I went down to the office to get my benefits for me and my kid when I was pregnant, they asked me, oh, they named everybody in my family who's ever been on assistance. My mother, my aunt, my uncle, my sister, and everybody else who's ever been on assistance. And they asked me, do you know these people? Are they, clearly, is this your family? I'm like, yes, that's this and this, that's this and this. And, that's such and such, that's such and such. So automatically, everything that she was receiving for me since my mother died obviously got cut off, and I started my own case. You understand what I'm saying? And when my daughter was in the, I started receiving benefits for myself, and I started receiving my pregnancy benefits. Now when my daughter was born, you have to wait until your child is like 3 months, and then you have to go down to the office with your children's documentation, birth certificate, social, and all that kind of stuff, and then your children will be added to your case. So for as long as I've been pregnant and been a mom, I've been receiving benefits for me and my kid because I am in need of my benefits, and I'm not financially stable. I don't have, I don't come from financial wealth, so I receive the benefits for me and my kid. So, and then just to go on, I talked about this a little bit in the first part, but just to go on to the next thing is like, even when I went into the shelter, let me tell you how trifling my aunt is. Wait. Yeah. I'm gonna say that part. When I went into the shelter, when you go into the shelter system, there is this whole protocol that you have to be eligible for to be even in a shelter. I know it's crazy, right? But you have to be eligible. Like, they have to prove that you are actually homeless. So of course I was homeless. Of course I was living under conditions that was not in the best interest for me and my kid. When I went into the shelter, I was living with my godfather. My godfather's house. I talked about this in a few of my content videos too, in my old content videos. But my father's house was really, oh God, it was really hoarderish. Like, he was a hoarder. It was very dirty. It was, he had roaches. He had cats, 3 cats. He had nets. We were living under conditions that are really unhealthy and really unsafe for me and my newborn baby. So when I went into that whole scenario, I had to it took me months to get approved to even be able to stay in the shelter to get my apartment, which y'all know took me 3 years to get, but neither here or there. I had to keep going through the investigation process to get approved to be in the shelter because they needed to make sure that I was eligible to be. So basically, wherever you were staying for the last 10 years, I think it's 5 to 10 years, wherever you was previously living, they have to make sure that you are no longer living there. And then because the shelter system is so overpopulated with homeless people, what they will do is they go to your last place that you was living, and they talked to the head of the household, and they asked these people, hey, like, y'all know I'm Mariah, right? So they'll be like, hey, Mariah used to live here, right? So, the people will be like, if they don't lie. Now, I'm going to get into that. So the people will be like, yeah, she used to live here. And then they'll go, where they have to look through the apartment or the house or whatever, and they have to make sure, like, oh, where did she used to stay? Oh, she can't stay here anymore. And the person, whatever they say. So, they do their whole investigation as far as that. Now, when it came down to me personally, the investigation for 3 months, the investigation people for the for the Department of Homeless Services went to my aunt's house and asked her, did I used to live there? She said yes. Now, she said yes. Now, oh no, she didn't answer the door. She didn't answer it, and I was giving her a heads up every time because I knew what day they was gonna go. And I told her, hey, they're gonna come and talk to you because they need to make sure that they need to make sure that I used to live there, so I can be approved to be in the shelter. And every time they probably came 5 to 6 times to talk to her and to investigate so I can stay in the shelter with me and my kid. Every time she didn't answer the door. She didn't answer the phone. And I found it so fucking strange. It's like, yo, I'm not asking you. I ran away from your house at 16 years old. I'm not asking you to stay in your apartment. I haven't stayed in your apartment for years. So now that I'm a young mom and I'm out here trying to, provide a better life for me and my kid, you can't even talk to these people and tell them that I used to live here, that my name was on your lease, okay, ever since my mother died. Like, come on, stop it. Even when I was living in Staten Island with my uncle, you were still receiving benefits for me in Brooklyn. Now tell me that ain't fraud. That's fraud. Or how about you putting me and my brother's name in cable for years, committing fraud? So when I was living in my father's house and I was trying to get cable for me and my kid while I was living in my father's apartment, they told me, oh, you already have cable. I said, where? And your address and your name, your address and your information popped up. So who's really out here committing fraud? So let me tell y'all actually how I got approved, because I didn't get approved to stay in a shelter from her. I got approved by my ex-boyfriend's mother, who had lived down the hall from me in my father's apartment. So clearly, if this is my neighbor that lives on the same floor as me and my father and my god brother and my god sister, she has seen me for the past 3 years. So I had asked my ex, I'm like, well, clearly, my aunt is on that BS. So we're going to have to ask your mother if your mother can help us out. Because y'all know if y'all don't know about all of this with my ex and all that, just go back and watch my abortion video, my abortion story time, part 1 and part 2. And you all can catch up on all of that. So, and you can watch my 3-year shelter experience content video, which is also posted on my channel if you don't know about all this that I'm like inserting into this content video. So, we had to go through his mom, which lived down the hall from my father's apartment, to get approved to stay in a shelter. So, we had called her up and we was like, you know what? My aunt is playing games. She don't want to help us out, blah, blah, blah. She knew that I was on her lease, and she knows that I used to live with her. Like, are you crazy? You took care of me when my mother died, you and my uncle. But technically, when it comes down to, legit paperwork and lease and all that kind of stuff, I was always on her lease since my mother died. Even when I was, like I said, when I was living in my uncle's house, when I started going to high school in Staten Island, I lived with my uncle for 2 years. I was still on my aunt's lease in Brooklyn. She was still receiving my benefits. My uncle was taking care of me out of his own, check and things like that, So we ended up going through his mother, And his mother was like, of course I'll do that. Y'all out here trying to, get y'all apartment and stuff like that. So, of course I will. So I'm like, all you got to do is tell them that, I used to live in my father's house, that you see me live there for 3 years. So she did it, God bless her, because she did it. And that was the icing on the cake for us getting approved to stay in the shelter. So unfortunately, he ended up putting his hands on me, and there was a whole domestic violence situation, and I had an abortion with his child, because I'm not going to keep any child with a man that thinks that he's going to put his hands on me, so he ended up leaving the shelter, and ultimately I had to go through my journey, to get my apartment for me and Wookie, by myself, or just me and Wookie, because he left, and that was the end of that situation. But yes, she was the icing on the cake. His mother was the icing on the cake to help me help us get accepted in the shelter. So, and when we was telling her, like, yeah, my aunt, she don't want to help me. She's not answering the door. When these people are coming to investigate, she don't want to answer the phone. When these people are calling. And she was like, what's wrong with her? Like, all she need to do, his mother, okay, even was vouching for, like, obviously she vouched for me, but even his mother understood where I was coming from. She was like, what's wrong with your aunt? Like, all she need to do is open the door and tell these people that you used to live there, but you can't live there anymore because of whatever. All she need to do is answer the phone, and even if she didn't want to answer the door, all you had to do, they said that they will call you. You couldn't even do that. Like, come on, stop it. And let's not forget, I'm telling y'all all of this because I want y'all to know that I'm just done. I can't affiliate with people that are even my own blood, because there is too much dysfunction going on in my family that I was born into. And y'all know that I am not about negativity, BS, and drama. And I don't care if it comes down, I don't care if it comes down like to my own blood and my own whatever. Like, I don't care. You're not going to be out here starting drama, accusing me of shit. You understand? Trying to spread negativity into my life. I'm just not about that. So I have to cut ties, and I have to continue to live my life. Okay? So one more thing, and then I'm going to end this content video. Because words from a wise person, man. Words from a wise person of the past. When somebody shows you who they are, believe it. My sister tried to tell me, so many people tried to tell me in the past that my aunt she ain't right. And I always had her back no matter what. I always, found love in my heart for her, had compassion for her, continued to understand her and hear her out and believe her. But for you to go to this level of ruthlessness, I have to cut ties with you. And, I wish you the best. I really do. But please don't call me. You're going to find out the truth when you go to these appointments and do your little investigation that you need to do, because you think my brother's on my case and, all this kind of stuff. You're going to find out the truth when you go to these appointments. And I can't wait, because it's going to smack you in your face. It's going to smack you dead in the face. And don't call me crying, apologizing, because you can't. You are officially blocked. I don't have time for that. And go ahead and say whatever you got to say about me and put my business out in the street, whatever you need to do. That's going to make you feel better about yourself. Go ahead. I'm prepared for whatever you're going to do when you see these content videos and when you find out the truth. It's going to show the world the type of person you really are. And that you never loved my mother's kids. You was only in it to get benefits. You was only in it for people to gain some kind of respect because you was taking care of your sister's kids because your sister died from breast cancer. You never really cared about us. And now I see you for truly who you really are. So the last thing that I want to say is, I remember when I was living in my father's apartment. And I think this was like, I don't know, was I living in my father's apartment? I don't know if this happened when I was living in my father's apartment or I was starting the whole shelter journey to get my apartment. But wherever I was at, I remember she called me and she was like, I know Wookie was already here because look what she asked me. She's like, hey, Ma, I need you to do me a favor. So I'm like, what's going on? So she's like, I need you to bring me Missouri's birth certificate. So I'm like, what? Why do you need my daughter's birth certificate? So she's like, oh, because they trying to take the 3-bedroom apartment away from me because they saying that you don't live here. I'm like, well, I think this was when I was in my father's apartment. I'm like, well, I don't live in your apartment, you know. She's like, oh, hey. Then she start, bickering and trying to start arguing with me over my daughter's birth certificate because she wanted to hold on to the 3-bedroom apartment that's been in my family for ages. But because these people got wind that I wasn't staying there anymore, I was living downstairs in my father's apartment. She was trying to hold on to that apartment. I was like, no, I'm not giving you my daughter's birth certificate. We don't live there. So, that has nothing to do with me. She caught a whole fit and started cursing me out, bickering on the phone. I'm like, you know what? I gotta go. And that was another reason why we had stopped talking. We had fell off. And then when I had got my apartment in 2016, everybody was so shocked, My father was shocked, because I've always been a very determined, motivated, and focused person, regardless of what life has thrown at me. I'd never let it stop me. And I'm not going to let, and even now, and moving forward, I'm not going to let anything stop me from what I'm trying to do and where I'm trying to go. You all hear my stories. You all see my journey. You all hear my experiences. You all know me for truly who I am because I've put it all on the front street. But it's just so sad when your own family hates you and they don't want to see you win. Like, they don't want the best for you and yours. Because people are always okay with you staying on the same level as them and where they are and where they were able to, get to. But when you start to surpass them and you start to actually now succeed, these people, this success makes people uncomfortable. It makes people uncomfortable who knew you from your past and knew you from your youth and knew you from your struggles. But when you start to rise above all of that, these people want to bring you down. They want to hate on you. They want to stir up drama. They want to tarnish your character because it makes them uncomfortable that you were able to rise up from your trials and tribulations, your obstacles, your struggles. It makes them uncomfortable. Like, damn, this person is this old. This person is doing this. This person is doing that now. And instead of them being proud and instead of them being motivated to watch you succeed and do something that they couldn't even believe for themselves, and they see that you believe in yourself and you are a force to be reckoned with, they want to pull you down. But that's okay. It's okay. I remember when I called her and I told her that I had got my apartment. I got the keys to my apartment. And there was not 1 ounce of excitement coming through on the other line of the phone. She was like, "Oh, wow, Ma. Well, I'm proud of you." And all throughout my life, everything I have achieved, you know, when the devil was coming at me, and when people didn't believe in me, and I was going through everything that I have gone through, she always would say these words like, I'm proud of you, Ma. But are you really? Were you ever really proud of me, though? Because I don't think so. I really don't think so. And I've never asked a soul for anything. Since becoming an adult, since becoming a mom, I haven't asked nobody for shit. Not a diaper, not a pamper, not a bottle, not a piece of clothing. But those people who have showed up for me when I needed it the most, and those people who have showed up for me when they seen that I was in need, oh, when I get to the level where I'm trying to get to, those people don't even have to ask. I'm just going to give because I didn't have to ask. I was just given to because what these people felt it was best to do in their heart. But people like my aunt and other people that I will not name, you don't have to worry about me, Mariah. And you don't ever have to worry about Missouri because we are always going to be good. Just like I told everybody, and I will continue to tell people, don't worry about me and mine. We good. We have peace. We have joy. Missouri's mother is doing great, and I'm going to continue to rise in the name of Allah. So, wow, this video is 31 minutes. I'm sorry, y'all, that I got emotional. I'm sorry that I had to make this part 2, but it was just things that needed to be said. It's things that I want you all to hear because, when I get to the end of my life journey, I want all my supporters to be able to look back on my content videos and see that despite of whatever Riahjay has gone through, she continued to let it make her stronger. She continued to build herself up, and if it wasn't for everything that I have gone through, I wouldn't be who I am today. And if it wasn't for everything that I'm currently going through now, I wouldn't be who I'm going to be in my future tomorrow. So I love you all so much, my babies. Thank you all for watching. And I'll see you all in my next video. Bye. Peace and love.